So, yes. So today I will be talking about the holding environment again. For those of you that haven't met me, my name is Fabiola, and I've been meditating for a while, maybe 15, 20 years. And like Bill and Susan, I've walked the world of mindfulness and psychotherapy, and I'm very interested in how mindfulness and meditation practices can help us be happier, be well, stress less in this crazy world. And one thing that I really value that I learned with Bill and Susan when I met them 10 years ago was about the holding environment, right? I think this is one of Bill and Susan's great contributions to the world of mindfulness, talking about the importance of the holding environment and how to translate that into our spaces. So I'm going to read some notes here that I have for you in the subject of the holding environment. And I invite you to be receptive and just see what speaks to you, what takeaways you may have. My hope is that by the end of my 10 minutes here, you will have a renewed interest in your physical space and how the physical space where you dwell, where you meditate, is maybe a first layer in creating deeper levels of holding environment, emotional and physical. So we will say a lot about the holding environment, but today I'll stick to the physical part of it, right? So just like when we started and just started landing and seeing each other, we can see that those things that we see, like seeing all of our Sangha mates here, how they affect how we feel, right? Because we are embodied beings that can see, hear, taste, feel. And those things that our senses perceive will affect how we feel. So I want to start by sharing a little tiny booklet. Let me see if you can all see it here. It's by Thich Nhat Hanh, and it's called Making Space. Really small. Um, and Thich Nhat Hanh, much like Bill and Susan, know how to make the Dharma pretty digestible and also bring ancient West Eastern practices into our modern lives. So Thich Nhat Hanh invites us to create a breathing room. And I want to read a little bit from this book. And this is my invitation to you, and it's something that I've done in this room. Every home, no matter how small, can have a breathing room. We may have a room for everything else. We have a bathroom, a bedroom, a living room, our office, but most of us don't have a room for our own breathing and peace of mind. If you live in a one-room studio or don't have enough space, you can make a breathing space or a breathing corner or a breathing closet. Your breathing room is a sacred place. You don't need any furniture, maybe just a cushion or a chair, perhaps an altar or a table with flowers. Anything that can allow you to get into the practice of stopping and practice mindful breathing, right? So I picked up this book a while back, and since I picked it up, I've been more intentional about creating space. During the spring, I like to create a ritual of just cleansing. I align with this practice of spring cleaning. Maybe some of you do too. And one thing I learned from my journeys in the Tibetan tradition was that during the Tibetan New Year, the temples are cleaned really deeply, right? And for a time, I was really into this Tibetan Buddhism, and I would help my Lama clean the temple. And it was a practice that took 3 days. And it was a very mindful practice of decluttering, organizing, cleaning, and maybe setting the statues or the tankas or the candles in a particular way for the season ahead. Now, in my own private, more secular mindfulness practice, I like to incorporate that. And that's my invitation to all of you, right? And we come from different places. Maybe most of us weren't born into a Buddhist culture. We've explored it perhaps, but different backgrounds. We probably have been at synagogues, temples, mosques, churches. And all this sacred architecture is designed to create an impact on your body mind, right? So the invitation is to create your own little chapel, temple, synagogue, zen den, whatever you feel it like naming it, and make it this peace room, right? And clean it as often as you want. I like the yearly process of just taking everything out. cleaning, and then letting some things come back into the space. One thing that our dear Susan Morgan taught me, and I thank her so much for this, is that to make this space really inviting for my mindfulness practice, I have to personalize it, right? And bring the different things that inspire me. So I will show you what I have right now, which is different from what I had a year ago. But it always includes something Thich Nhat Hanh, who inspires me very much. It may include a picture of one of my benefactors, maybe my grandpa, my mom, something that Bill and Susan maybe gave me at a retreat, just things that I can see and they become anchors, right? I don't know if many of you are familiar with the concept of anchors or not, but in psychology and NLP, is an anchor is something that you want to create an association with, a positive one for your well-being. So the invitation is to set up anchors in your space so that when you come into the space to meditate or to cook mindfully or to engage in any of your mindfulness practices, you can pause and feel welcomed and held. Because the nicer the environment or the warmer the environment that you perceive with your senses, the more it's going to help you relax your body and mind, right? There's, and I like to add this piece of science to my talk today. There's research that shows that clutter impacts our nervous systems, and cleaner space help us to relax more. So how we take care of a physical environment is really going to affect our mental state, our emotional state. And so having these breathing rooms, or at least these corners where we can just sit in peace and have anchors that remind us of the positive qualities of our benefactors and teachers, and colors and lights that soothe us, will make it easier to actually sit and then into formal practice and then open up the heart, right, to kindness and to being able to sit with the breath and the thoughts and everything that happens. So my invitation to you is to look at where you are right now. I don't know if you're in the space where you meditate or not, but you're probably in a space where you dwell. And just take a moment and honestly just sense, how is this space holding you? I had a lot here last year, and I'm still not done with my process of decluttering, to be really honest. There's some things, I'll be vulnerable and just show you all, there's things that are still rearranging. Thich Nhat Hanh is somewhere there, and I'm trying to create a little art room to hold space for me. But the one thing that for sure is here is this piece of calligraphy back there. I don't know if you can see it, but it was done by Thich Nhat Hanh, and it says, "Peace in oneself, peace in the world." Let me just bring it close. So when I enter my room, this is what I see. Peace in oneself, peace in the world. Very grateful to have been able to find this some 15 years ago. And so I consider Thich Nhat Hanh my spiritual teacher. Bill and Susan are my mindfulness teachers, but Thich Nhat Hanh, to me, he was a living Buddha. So just seeing things that he did, having an image of him close by, these things remind me of what I want to meditate. Because let's be honest, some days we may be lazy, we may want to skip our meditation, right? But by creating a cozy, inviting space and having these anchors, you will be more likely to keep a sustainable mindfulness practice. I know some of you do, many of you, probably the majority, but if you're new to meditation, or if you're feeling like, I'm getting like a little bit lazy, I would say go back to the physical holding environment. Spring clean it, renew it, refresh it, bring things that inspire you, that remind you of why you want to meditate, and then go do it. So I'm going to close with some words by our own Susan Morgan. And she expands on the first line, right? The Buddha says how to practice mindfulness. In the Mindfulness Sutra, he says, go to a forest or a secluded space and sit down at the foot of a tree, cross-legged, spine erect, and set mindfulness to the fore. Thankfully, Bill and Susan expand a lot on each one of these phrases. So what I would like to expand on today using Susan's words, is this: go to a forest or a secluded space. It's 2600. Most of us are indoors. We weren't raised to be in a forest cross-legged. So this is about finding your space, your chair. And consider the following the rest of this week. What inspires you? What helps you feel resistant? What warms your heart? What are the reminders, visual, auditory, gustatory, that you would like to have around you? How may the space around you reflect your intention and your compassion? Maybe you can light incense, use a bell to mark the beginning and the end of your meditation. Use props for sittings, right? Cushions and knee supports. Make it comfortable. So my invitation to you is in the meditation that's about to start, just settle into the body, find as much comfort as you can, and in the days ahead, maybe tweak a little bit your holding environment so that you can feel more at home. Yeah. Thank you for your kind attention. And let's move into the meditation part. In the spirit of the holding environment, I'd like to invite you, and if you want to set gallery view, if you didn't have it there, it's really nice to just be able to see the whole Sangha. It's a lot easier to meditate with others around. I'm gonna put my calligraphy back here. Yeah. And so choose your posture. But first, allow your body to stretch a little bit if you need to. If you don't need to, that's fine. But if you need to just stretch a little bit, moving from the physical environment and what's here into the container of our mind, heart, or energy. And so just softening a little bit, softening so that we can sit for the next 20-25 minutes. And choosing if you need to stand or sit or kneel. I think I'm going to go for kneeling today. And it's good to take your time doing this because this is moving from the space itself into the body and helping the body be as comfortable as possible. Sensing into your feet and the tripod. How are your legs? Just find a posture that feels solid and grounded. If you need some cushion for your back or knees, do get it. You start getting cold like me, you may want to have a blanket close by. Just check in with the whole body breathing. To connect to this container, our body, I invite you to take 3 easy breaths. Sensing into the space in the lungs, in your body, the nostrils. It's really arriving home, coming in for a landing, like Bill says. Softening and making any final adjustments, knowing that, of course, you can gently move throughout the practice as needed, very mindfully and slowly. Soften the face. Take a moment also to see that this is a great opportunity that we all have to just sit together and practice some mindfulness, to gather in peace, to breathe, to settle the nervous system. Maybe feel the energy of this connection that we have across time and space via the internet. If you need to warm up your mental holding environment, then you can also bring to mind your teachers or benefactors, loved ones, anything that can allow you to relax a little more. And just take a moment to enjoy this breathing space, to enjoy having this practice and allowing yourself to ride the breath and let that be something that can soothe you and calm you. Start entering that mindful posture of being an observer, an inner observer to yourself, to the wanderings of your mind, and ride the breath to the best of your abilities. And when the mind wanders, just gently bring it back into the body breathing. Enjoy your practice. Remembering to soften as needed, to loosen up the body a little more, welcoming everything non-judgmentally and caringly. And noticing the breathing and the space inside the body. And remembering to soften, unclench as needed. Open up space for the breath, for the mind, for the heart. Making space for everything. Thank you all. Thank you for your practice, for joining us here. Let me see if I can unmute everybody.
I just did it, Fabiola. It should work.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you,
Thank
Fabiola. Be well.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for showing up. This is the sound
Great
of our
talk today,
Sangha.
Fabiola. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Fabiola.
Thank you for coming, and we hope to see you again soon, maybe tomorrow or whenever you all can come. Take care of yourselves. Hold yourselves kindly.
See you at 10:30.
See you at 30. Take care.
You too.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Where's the lead?